Evening, everyone. This is Nithya Ramachandra from the NRR Sports Show. This is episode 847, alongside with one of our co-hosts, Global Kid Media, Vedant, and we're joined by a really special guest. His name is Trent Cole. He's a former NFL defensive end. He played for the Colts and Eagles, and he also went to Cincinnati for college, and he had over 600 sacks, over 90 sacks, over 600 total tackles, and what a great career, two-time Pro Bowl. I'm a big Dallas Cowboy fan, so you had a lot of great games against us, and but really looking forward to this interview. And first of all, Trent, we finally made this happen. And how are you and your family doing?
Yeah, man. Like I said, it's been good lately, man. You know, just been very busy. You know, with everything I got going on, and you know, in this next chapter, you know, after the life after football, we call it, you know, and so far everything's been really great.
Yeah, I want to start off by talking a little bit about you growing up. You know, obviously now, like you said, that next chapter, doing things outside of football. What all was there when you were a kid? What did you do besides football?
Football. Well, I was in the track. I was in baseball. Big baseball fan. I was baseball. But might have been one of my first loves, I gotta say. You know what I'm saying? Baseball was it. You know, I would love baseball. It was almost like I wish I could play year round. But you know, it was great playing baseball and, you know, basketball. I was just an all around type. I was very athletic. You know, I played on everything I could play, get a chance to play on, except wrestle. I even tried wrestling after I got beat by a little small guy. Kind of like hurt my feelings there. You know what I'm saying? So I don't take losing well. So, so when he beat me, I was like, wow. But then again, it showed me that, you know, it showed a lot of things, because that guy that was really small, he's a teammate of mine and named Ben, and he was he invited me to wrestling practice one time, and when he pinned me up, I'm talking about this guy is very, very small, like very small. Pin a big guy up like me, just told me a lot. You know what I'm saying? You know, everybody has something great to them, and you know, everybody's good at, you know, has a talent, you know.
So I got to ask you. Obviously, you're from Ohio, and you went to college in Cincinnati. So take me back to your college recruiting process. What was that like, and getting to stay close to home and picking Cincinnati?
Well, I'll admit that reason why I went to Cincinnati, University of Cincinnati, I went there because, you know, I was familiar with the coach, you know, and my uncles had coached there, you know, previously there, so I was pretty familiar with University of Cincinnati. I mean, I had scholarships and pretty much go to any college pretty much wanted to, you know, going there recruited as a running back, you know, recruited as a linebacker and a running back, mostly a running back, and you know, I wanted to stay close to home because I was a big outdoorsman. I was just infatuated with outdoors. That's what I wanted to do. You know, I didn't care if I didn't go to college, I would have been all right. I've been all right working a regular job and enjoying outdoors, you know, because my work ethic, you know, how I was brought up and the things I encountered through life as a kid has made me who I am today. You know, this straight hard work, you know what I'm saying? There's no quit. And that's something that's built me. So that's why, you know, I was like, hey, I want to stay close to home. I'm an opportunist. So, you know, that was the thing. I was like, hey, you know, I could go to Ohio State. I could go here, go here. But I'm just going to go to the University of Cincinnati. I'm going to stay close to home. You know, I'm enjoy. I'm going to feel comfortable.
What was it like playing in front of, you know, in some way, your home crowd every game in college and being able to have that support system there?
Well, it's different because I lived about 2.5 hours away, but a lot of people weren't going to come all the way that far to come to a game from where I come from. You know what I'm saying? That's an expense. So that, but the thing is, though, it was very nice that my parents could be there, you know, and that's one thing. I have that support system with my parents being there, and that was a huge thing with me there. And like I said, just you know, it's you know, it was the University of Cincinnati. It was close. You know, I'm very familiar with it. And I was comfortable, and I just felt very comfortable with that University of Cincinnati, and I don't regret one bit of it.
So speaking of, you got recruited as a running back, and take me back to that process. Did you ever think that you could have played running back, or what made you choose to play defense?
Well, they gave me a choice. I got a choice to play, but little backstory on it. What happened was when I got here in Cincinnati, I was just in practice one day, and we got a lot of people got hurt, and they needed some scout team D linemen. So the nose spot was available. You know, and me, I'm a go-getter. I'm a student, so I want to play ball. I love playing ball. I have fun. I volunteered. Say, hey, I'll get down at nose and be a scout team guy. And everything led to another. I was beating my guys, and I was next. You know, I'm starting nose, and I say I started nose in University of Cincinnati. I'll say nose. I was probably the smallest nose in college football.
Oh wow.
At some point in the NFL, did you ever want to do a trick play at running back? Did you ever try to convince coaches for something like that?
Always. Always. You know, I got that dog with me, man. Like I want to do it all. I want to anything I do. I'm the type of guy. I'm in. You know, I compete. I compete with myself. You know, that's the biggest thing is with me is I'm competing with myself, and I want to see how far I could take things. That's just how I am. I mean, I want to see how far I could take my talent. You know.
Yeah. So I want to ask you about take me back to your NFL draft experience. Obviously, you got drafted in 2005, round 5, pick 146 by the Eagles. And what was it like spending time with your family? And did you get invited to the combine and also to the draft room? Or but what was it like? Yeah.
Yeah. So I did get invited to the combine, not the draft ordeal, but with the combine, I couldn't participate because I was very, very sick. I had pneumonia, and I was just recovering. Actually, I went to the hospital after I left I went there and didn't participate and left that place in the hospital for a few days, for like 4 or 5 days. He almost dying from pneumonia. I almost died. Literally almost died. Like, I mean, it was something that I want nobody to ever experience. I mean, they said if it was somebody else, they would have passed. They would have died because the fact that I was just so strong in the case I had, you know, and I got it 2 times. I got it back to back. I got it after the I think it's the bowl game down there, the college bowl game down there in Mobile, Alabama. I got it there too. So it was one of the worst times ever when you can't participate, you know what I'm saying, in something that you worked your butt off so hard in the off season for that moment. And that's where I got it from. You know, I got it from working so hard, you know, and I just wore my body down. And this is the way I was. I was going to, you know, I knew this was an opportunity to go to the NFL, and I was going to work my butt off. I was at 260, running at 4.5. I mean, I felt tip-top shape, man. It just all went down the drain, man, when the pneumonia hit me. And, you know, I just thank God that, you know, I could speak to you guys to this day and be able to retire as a foot-up Eagle and be in the NFL for 12 years and play, you know what I'm saying, have a great career. I just thank God for it, man.
You know, that's adversity that you face really before you're even in the league. How much did that help you going forward, having that chip on your shoulder, having that behind you and being able to say, you know, what's an NFL game compared to your life?
Because it was already instilled in me. It was already in my head. It was not even like a thought, like, okay, I got to do this. There's no way that if I get knocked down, I got to keep moving forward. This is what I've been built for as an athlete, all athletes. They all know, people can understand what I'm talking, when I come from. It's like, hey, all we know is how to recover, you know, and move forward. Don't look back. You know, and that is one lesson. You should not ever look back. You got to move forward and be productive, you know, and try to rebuild yourself. But that's, like I said, that was already still in me. That's what I took it. I took that with pride, and you know, that would help me along.
So, what was the first thing you guys did as a family after you got drafted?
As a family after I got drafted?
Yeah, what was the first thing you did?
Well, you know, it's the funny part. I'll give you a little insight on something kind of funny on the draft deal. Well, during the draft day, I didn't get drafted the first. You remember, I'm a 5th round draft pick. I didn't get drafted. I'm a 5th round draft pick. I got drafted 5th round, but you remember, I didn't get drafted the first day. So, you know, I'm like, dang, you know, and I knew it was coming because, you know, I didn't participate in the combine and you know, it was rough. You know what I'm saying? They call me a tweener. because I was like that tweener, you know, back then it was like that tweener, you know, I was being like, okay, he's a D lineman or linebacker. What is he going to be? What is he going to be? You know, and that's hard for, you know, make a decision on. But I was getting calls when I first started getting calls during the draft. I was getting calls from coaches, and I was actually out turkey hunting. I was out turkey hunting, taking calls in a turkey blind, turkey hunting. It was just kind of funny. And some of the coaches would tell me, "You need to get in, man. You know, you got to getting hurt. You know, I'm out here and." I got turkey. Actually had a turkey coming in on a string. Like, I mean, you know what I'm saying? But I had to take the call, you know what I'm saying? Because I got, you know, take care of business first and play later, you know? But like I said, you know, me and my family was all at the house, you know, and it was a big thing, man. When it came across, it was awesome, man. It was just, now it was time to work from there. It was just all time to work. And it was time to make it. And to anybody who's listening, as far as like guys who are up through, you know, and looking forward to the draft or looking forward to being in the draft or playing to the next level, man. Like I said, once you make it, you know what I'm saying? Once you still got to make it. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? You still got to make it. Especially when they used to be in the fifth round, you still got to make it, you know? And I knew that was time to buckle down and get to work.
Yeah, you went from turkeys to Eagles real fast. Real quick transition. I want to ask about, you know, being with the Eagles because you were with them for a long time. Over years in the NFL, how did things change? Did it become easier? Did it become faster? Did it become slower? You know, what was the adjustment over the years?
I'll just say this: from my experience, you know, I used to hear college and the NFL is kind of close. Now, NFL is on a whole nother atmosphere compared to college football. You know. We're used to college going bullying people, going straight at. When I got to the NFL, it opened my eyes and it brought the best out of me. You know what I'm saying? My players, my teammates brought the best out of me. You know, the player next to me, because you have a guy, a vet that'll tell me you need to start using your hands, would literally tell me I need to start using my hands, you know, because they said, you come in this league, you ain't going to be just thinking you was going to bull into these guys. And I found that out real hard, you know, going against some of the greats I went against as far as offensive linemen, where I thought I was just going to run through them and bull them, push them out of the way, and it wasn't going to happen like this. These guys were sound. These guys they were the best. They were professionals. You know, the professionals are what they do. And that's one thing I learned. And, you know, I had to use my hands. And that's where I started using my hands really, 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 really good. Because, I mean, I did use my hands in college, but when I got to the NFL, I really started using my hands. I started using different techniques, watching other players and taking their moves and adjusting it and building upon it and putting it into my repertoire of things I have when I'm pass rushing, and that's where it came from there. But the adjustment, man, it was a lot to learn. There's a lot to learn, and you know, you got to have ears open. You can't be closed-minded. You know what I'm saying? Because there's a lot of things that'll take your talent that you didn't know you could be good at that somebody else can tell you. You know, you got to be open-minded to everybody. Everybody will be open. It might not work for you. Some things might work for you, but you gotta take it all in. You know, you gotta listen. You know.
Yeah. So now, obviously, you spend most of your career in the NFC East with the Eagles, and take me back to when you see players like you play with players like David Akers, Brian Dawkins, Tara Owens, and Donovan McNabb. Actually, we had McNabb on the show a couple of months back, and he was awesome to talk to. And you also play with Torin Thomas. You also had this roster was stacked. Brian Westbrook, Jermaine Kearse. What was it like playing with those type of players, man?
Very, very intense players. I mean, that's where I fed off these guys. Okay, like Brian Dawkins, I used to start diving after players just because of him. I mean, I used to see him and I just like, man, I want to be on that level. I want to play like him. You know what I'm saying? Very contagious. That's why he was a great leader. You know what I'm saying? Because when I came in, I'm young. I'm looking like, okay, how I'm supposed to play? How's this? How I'm supposed to take this game? You know what I'm saying? I'm in the NFL. I'm in the business. I'm in the, you know what I'm saying? I wonder how things grow. So I'm looking for the next player. I'm just watching. I'm watching how tense these players are, and I'm like, man, I can do that. You know, and that's one guy I fed off was Dawkins, man. I mean, God, man, he used to come after people, man, and everything he had, and I loved it, man. I just fed off of it, and you want that as a leader. You want to be a leader. You want to be contagious, and it was contagious, and it rubbed off on me, you know. And I could tell you about Jeremiah Trotter.
Yeah.
God, I mean, he would hit you like a freaking, like a brick with a brick house. And then, you got, Kirsch, the freak, you know what I'm saying? Just so athletic. God, very athletic. Used everything he had to get back to the QB. And, Hugh Douglas you got McNabb. And you think about all the guys you named out, man. These guys were intense players. These guys were elite players. Okay, these guys were the elite. And I tell you about it, these guys were elite players. And remember, son, I had the best to learn off of.
You talk about leaders. You talk about athletic freaks. I was just at the ESPYs in New York, and one of the people I was talking to, the interviews coming soon, was with Chase Young, who's exactly that. And with all he's done at Washington, I'm sure we'll talk about the upcoming season a little bit later. Let's talk about 2006, one of your biggest years. 5 sacks in the first 4 games. Interception. You were everywhere. Not to make you feel old. That was the year I was born, but we'll get to that later. How special was that year? And that's when you kind of started to understand things in your second year. What changed? What changed from year 1 to 2?
You got to remember now, the first year was a big surprise to me because I didn't expect to be. You know what I'm saying? I'm being really. I really supposed to be ready at all times, but I was surprised. I was surprised to be starting my first year. I started my first year, and I had to get put in the fire because a lot of guys got hurt, and there was an opportunity for me, and I took it. And I wrote with it, and I learned a lot, and just like you learn, you get comfortable because the game's so fast. You know what I'm saying? I can remember my first experience. This is my first game. I guess my first game would be think about a guy who just got in the league. You got all these Pro Bowls, all these elite players in front of you as DNs, and you're way in the lineup. You know what I'm saying? You're on the bench, and all of a sudden you're starting. Okay, you starting against Michael Vick. One of the fastest players I've ever seen on the field. You know what I'm saying? And I'm telling you, they told me not to jump. I'm gonna tell you a little story, okay, with Jim Johnson. He yelled at me all practice saying, "You better not jump, boy." He said, "You better not jump." Because I went back there, I got caught jumping in practice, and he laid it on me, man. He said, "Don't jump," okay? Because on the pump fake, because that's what Mike Vick was good for, that pump fake and then taking off. When we come to the game, I got put in the game. I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm like surprised, like, oh, you know what I'm saying? So my drilling is just going. I'm 100 miles per in my head. I'm 100 miles per hour. Okay, that's only one thing I know is just okay, go. Because I was just like until I could calm down and get my madaver right. The next thing you know, I get in there, guys, and I take off and I beat my guy. That man pump faked me and took off around the side. And I'm gonna have to say this. I can tell you this. I ran that man down. Okay, I can call that. I ran that man. It's on video. I got pumping. I missed him. I went flying. Okay, by him. He takes off all the way around. Takes off running. He's running almost 20 yards down the field. 30 yards. Wow. I cut him off. I just took off. I took an angle, went straight down the middle, and angled him off because my drum was going so bad. And I ended up hitting him out of bounds. The guy got pump fake by. I ran him back down because my adrenaline was going so fast. So, like I said, it's there's a lot there. There's a lot there. Like what I'm saying, when I came in, man, I'm just getting put right in the fire, and then learning, take the next step the next year where I got comfortable where everything slowed down for me. Especially in the first year, everything just started slowing down for me. So I was already ready. Okay, I was already ready going that second year. But like I said, it was a great experience, and I wouldn't change it for nothing.
Yeah. So I gotta ask you about playing in the NFC East, playing in front of your fan base. You guys, in my opinion, you guys have the craziest fans, in my opinion. And when I usually go to Cowboys Eagles game in Philly, I don't wear my Cowboy stuff because I don't want to get trashed. So for you, what was it like playing in front of your fans and playing in that field and just living and seeing that the fan base, they go crazy? What was it like?
As far as the Eagles games?
Yeah, and then
the best, man. The camaraderie, just the pride that the fans had. It's just when I first got there, to this day, I love when people said, man, I had seats since 1965, you know what I'm saying? These fans pride, I love them. They're like my biggest reason, like, play a game every Sunday. It's just because of the fans, man. I mean, I love the fans, the city. I love the city. The city, they take teams. You say they hard on us at times, but hey, it's just we got so much love for us. That's why they're so hard. You know what I'm saying? But I'll take it. You know what I'm saying? I'll take it all day. And I tell players, hey, suck it up. You know what I'm saying? Be thankful that you got fans like that. You know what I'm saying? Because they're gonna push you mentally, even though you ain't supposed to be worrying about fans, but you can't bypass it. Hey, you know what I'm saying? They're gonna be in your head. So you take it as you gotta take it as as momentum, and they, like I said, they can be pretty harsh, you know what I'm saying? But then again, like I said, as long as they get the right information. So so as long as they know what they're talking about, you gotta know what you're talking about,
Yeah.
But it's one of the greatest things ever. And when I go back to games, it's still great,
Yeah. So like speaking of the NFC East, so what was it like playing against my Cowboys, Giants, Washington? What was that like? Did that give you like extra motivation again, especially playing against division games?
Yeah, it was fun, man. I have to say, man, this is my opinion. This is my opinion. Okay, love playing the Cowboys. This the build up from the tense of this, the old thing surrounding the Cowboys and Eagles thing was big. But I felt like the biggest and funnest games for me was either playing Washington Redskins and the Giants. But Giants were probably the biggest, I would say, out of the whole rivalry. I think it was just so intense when we played the Giants and the Redskins. I mean, it was a battle. A straight out battle. But the Cowboys is always known to be it's the big rival, and it's probably gonna stay the rival for now. But like I said, for me, it was the Giants and the Redskins.
Where do you see the NFC East this year? What teams do you think are going to be the most competitive? Who's going to win the division? Do you think that the division will be a little bit better than last year?
That's right now. I have no answer for you. I really don't have an answer because a lot of teams are building. A lot of things has happened, and when you get things like that, when teams ain't been playing, teams got new people on their team and new players. They got to gel together. They got to get a year under the belt to gel together, and it's hard to put I think as far as when it comes to Eagles, it'll be a lot better this coming year than what it was last year, and I can say that. But I like what I see. I mean, when it comes to Eagles, I like what I see with Jalen and all them guys, and it's something they're gonna see. It's gonna be something to see.
So obviously, did you ever think in your career that you could have stayed with the Eagles throughout your career? But obviously, you went to the Colts, and I know the NFL is a business. How tough is it for you when you had to change teams?
That's the toughest thing ever. Nobody wants to change teams. You know what I'm saying? Nobody, from experience, nobody wants to change teams. But I am very thankful for the opportunity the coaches gave me.
Yeah.
I wouldn't change it for nothing. Love, you know what I'm saying? I always love the coach too. I always have love for the coach because that's where I played at too. I played for 2 years, and I always have a place in my heart for them too as well. But I'm an Eagle, and they knew that. But they again, like I said, it's very, very hard going when you're not in control. You know what I'm saying? You're not in control of that. You just gotta keep what you can keep. And stay. Keep your mouth shut. You know what I'm saying? No one lashing out and all that stuff. Just do it under closed doors. If you got to lash out, the way to do business like that. But don't do it out loud. You know what I'm saying? This is a business. Got to be thankful for what these owners and stuff is opportunities they gave us to come play in their company and their company. Remember that, their company, not ours. Okay. Saying we can't tell them what they want to pay us. They're gonna tell us what they're gonna pay us, pretty much at the end of the day. You know what I'm saying? So people got to learn that. You know what I'm saying? That's one thing they got to learn, that hey, we lease these locker rooms, and just have appreciation. And when you have appreciation, you'll be a lot better player. And you might get what you want by staying in the same place.
Another guy who's gone the Eagles to Colts route is Carson Wentz, your guy who's obviously now going to be with the Colts going into this season. Where do you see this season being for him? What do you think of the move?
I'm excited about it. I'm excited to see what he's going to do. I'm really excited about it. You know what I'm saying? Everybody's got to be excited about it. Even though he's going to the Colts, everybody's got to be excited to see it because we know that he's a very talented quarterback. We've seen what he can do. You know, it's just too bad things didn't work out here, but you know he's got a fresh start. You know, and nothing wrong with having a fresh start. And a lot of guys get second chances, a lot of guys get third chances. It all depends. You know what I'm saying? Not everybody's the same. Not everybody's gonna get treated the same. You know, because of the situation. But you know, he's got a second chance, and you know, you only can do is be happy for somebody like that, especially a player in the NFL who's playing the same business as you playing in the NFL. You just got to be happy for him. You know what I'm saying? Now he's got to be happy for everybody. The Eagles, you know what I'm saying? They're making changes. You know what I'm saying? They got a new start. You know what I'm saying? You got to be happy for Carson, who's, you know, he's going to go have a new start, fresh start, and, you know, put everything behind us and move forward. But, you know, like I said, as long as Carson don't beat the Eagles, I'm fine. That's it. I'm fine. No matter. So I don't want to see it though. I don't even want to see a matchup. Let's put it that way. So Eagles got to get it done. Make sure there ain't no matchup.
Eagles Colts Super Bowl 2022.
Yeah. So yeah.
Yeah. So I want to ask you about your Colts experience. And you played with a lot of great players there too. You had Matt Hasselbeck, Darius Butler, Wante Davis, Andre Johnson. Man, what a legend receiver there. And you play with Arthur Jones, Trent Richardson. You go down the list. What was it like playing in Lucas Oil Stadium, man?
Yeah, it's fun, man. It's good to be back in the Midwest, man. You know, I'm from Ohio. Love it. I felt at home. I felt at home, man. It was just like, wow, you know. And I can say this, it was a fun locker room. I'd say that good group of guys, you know what I'm saying, in the locker room, man. I mean, just a great group, very talented guys in there. And, you know, it's different, you know what I'm saying? Very different. You can see the difference between the NFC and where I went. It's different, but the locker room was just it was good. It was fun. It was a lot of fun. I say that.
Yeah, one of the your coach guys is Andrew Luck, and I had a chance to talk to him at a Pro Bowl a couple years ago. But obviously he stepped away from the game due to injury, due to some other things. I want to ask about the mental side of the game. How tough does that get sometimes? I mean, Nathan mentioned it being a business, getting traded away, and then things that go on behind the scenes.
There's a lot of different things that can affect you, man. There's a lot of pressure and just to educate people, man. Like guys, these players have a lot of pressure on them, you know what I'm saying, every day. They had to come to work. It's not like everybody else had to come to work and, you know, everybody's going to work every day 9 to 5. No, these guys are coming to work 7 days a week, and they got to understand that their job is not secure every day. So understand when you wake up and knowing that you wake up out of your bed, that your job is not secure today, you know, and you got to go and perform every day in practice, you know what I'm saying, and get ready for a game on Sunday, and you got all this pressure on you because your mind is circulating around, okay, is I'm going to do good? You know what I'm saying? I want to have the best game. You're doing everything. You put so much pressure on your body. You're working out. You're putting your body through all kind of stress just to get prepared for one game, you know? And these guys mentally, they got to keep themselves intact, you know what I'm saying, and focused on the prize, you know? And people need to understand that these guys are under a lot of pressure, you know? And so, you know, there's a lot to it, man. And, you know, just to get prepared for one game.
So obviously you played with two great coaches throughout your career. I want to ask you about both of them. Obviously Andy Reid in Philly and Chuck Pagano. What was it like learning from both of them? They're both great head coaches, and Chuck Pagano going through a lot with cancer but now overcoming it. And what was it like just playing underneath those two type of coaches?
Oh, good, man. I say they're a lot alike, you know what I'm saying, because they're players, coaches. You know, they love their players. I have to say that. Andy Reid, I could speak really most for Andy Reid. Andy Reid, loved Andy Reid. I mean, like I said, he's kind of like a father to a lot of guys. You know what I'm saying? But he just played the role. I mean, he played his role as a head coach. I mean, he did it right. I have to say he did it right. Even though he didn't go to the Super Bowl, I mean, he didn't win a Super Bowl with the Philadelphia Eagles. He just played his role as a head coach. You know what I'm saying? As a leader of our team, he just played it. He played the role right. You know what I'm saying? And that's why he has a Super Bowl on his belt. And that's why in Kansas they love him, and that's why he's still doing it to this day. You know, and that's why when I speak, you understand where I'm coming from with it. He's a player's coach, and when it's time, like I always talk to him, my owner, he was telling me that take care of business first and play later. You know, that's what he would tell us. Take care of business first, play later. So he said there's a time for business, and you got to take care of business. This is a business we play, and and then it's time to go play. And if you're not, if you're the weakest link, and just for example, if you're weakest link and you're not doing what you needed to get done for this team to move forward or to excel, you know what I'm saying? He's just straightforward with it, man. He says, hey, I got to get rid of you, or, you know what I'm saying? Even though he never had to tell me that, but like I said, that's just how he was. That's how he would tell us how he was. He's like, well, we got to move on for you. He's going to let you know. Like, it is what it is. As long as you get understanding that, like I said, that's what's going to keep you at, being a great player, because you got to understand this is a business. You got to keep moving forward. Okay, what's the next opportunity? I'm going to go, rising. Don't make yourself look like a fool out there and lashing out. You know what I'm saying? Do it under the table. You know what I'm saying? Do it under closed doors. Don't go put it out there.
Can I talk about, your relationships that you've built throughout playing in the NFL? How important are those? You create brothers by playing in the NFL for especially as long as you had. How tight are you guys still to this day?
I mean, I talked to a lot of, they talk about my teammates and stuff.
Yeah.
So, yeah, like I said, I talked to a lot of players. I talked to a lot of different players, man. I help out a lot of players as far as when it comes to marketing. You know what I'm saying? I did that with my marketing firm, Pro Advantage. I helped them out with that. Selling guys from just retired guys to the current guys, and any athlete, any athlete, you know what I'm saying? Just any athlete in general, But I keep in touch with a lot of guys, man, and it's always good to hear from them. And we don't talk too much football. I don't really talk too much football with the guys. Sometimes if something funny or something I see something on TV, I'm gonna be that big brother or that leader. Say, hey, I know better. I see what's going on. I can see it through the TV. You know what I'm saying? I could see it through the TV. You know what I'm saying? Y'all need to get yourself together. Y'all look like y'all not gelling together. You look like you're not talking. Look like the team's not together. I can see that as a former player to the TV. So, this stuff I talk about with my teammates, some here and there. But a lot of times we don't even be talking about, football, man. We just talk about everything in general, man, what I'm doing, or we're doing some hobby that I'm doing, or, just checking up on each other, man. But it's just good to hear from each other,
Well, this is a two-part question. And so for you, looking back at your career, and what's it like just to play the game that you love, play with two great franchises in the Eagles and Colts, and played near your hometown in Cincinnati, had a great career, two-time Pro Bowl. What's it like to play the game that you love, and now doing the thing you love now, the other passionate thing, which is hunting, and you're part of Blitz Outdoors, and take me to that. How did that come about? But first, tell me how grateful are you to be in this position?
Just grateful, man. I always think back, like, man, why? Sometimes I just think about, I'm like, why me? You know what I'm saying? Why me? I have them type of thoughts at times, like, man, why was I picked to be in this position, man? I see, and then when you see other people who suffer out there, I always think back to myself. It does makes me very. I appreciate what I have. I appreciate my opportunities. I appreciate everything, and I feel like times where people have to take the opportunities.
Yeah.
People gotta you gotta take the opportunities. You have a choice of what you want to do. You know what I'm saying? You're your own man. You have a choice of what you want to do, and that's where it's going to take you. You can't blame nobody else for what's in your life. You know what I'm saying? Depend on the circumstances. Okay, depend on the circumstances. With America and where everything's going on, and what America's been through as far as minorities and all that stuff.
Right.
But circumstances. But like I said, it's all however you look at it. But like I said, I'm very appreciative of everything I've got. Like I said, I think You know what I'm saying? I'm like, why me? You know what I'm thinking? Like, God, why I'm put in this position? It's like, man, I wonder, sometimes I even wonder, man, what if I was in this position? What if I was just a regular guy or something? What if I was like, I want to, you know what I'm saying? Those are things that I want to know, but I'll never know. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm going to keep pushing forward where I am. I'm going to keep doing business. I'm going to keep being productive every day. I wake up at 5 o'clock in the morning, you know what I'm saying? Every day. I'm going to be productive every day. So I'll probably never going to get the chance to understand that, you know what I'm saying? But it's pretty much where that goes, you know?
Yeah. And also, how did the Blitz Outdoors come about with your hunting?
Well, I've always been big in outdoors, man. Like I said, I told you that little story on how I came up. I mean, it's raised in the outdoors, and I love it to this day. Big supporter of the outdoors, advocate, and big conservationist. You know, as an outdoorsman, people need to understand we put billions into the economy. Okay, we put billions. Okay, we gotta understand it. You take that away. Why would we take that away? That's what I'm saying. You can't take that away. There's a lot of jobs involved. You know what I'm saying? Because we actually put so much back into the economy,
Right.
into the environment. You know, you got to be, and people need to understand that we have our place. We're here for a reason. Okay, God put us on earth for a reason. Okay, we have our place. Okay, and it's a right. Okay, it's tradition. It's a right, but. But I got an NFL, you know, I got a little change in my pocket, and I grew up watching hunting shows on ESPN, Dick Buckus and all the guys, Tom Miranda. Oh God, I could go on. There's a couple more guys I could go on, man, about that I used to just love to watch, just preparing me for, you know what I'm saying, preparing me for the season. And next you know, I got some change in my pocket, and we got a couple TV shows next door where I lived at, and me and my buddy's like, man, we should do what they're doing. So we end up doing, you know, so we end up filming, and I bought some cameras and filming, and we just doing it for fun. Next, you know, it just started getting bigger and bigger and bigger. Next year, we got a staff, we got people who want to join, and just, you know, and I had, you know, there was my friends involved in it, and like I said, it's, you know, you got growing pains here and there with friends and all that stuff. But yes, I wouldn't change it. I wouldn't change it for nothing. You know what I'm saying? At the end of the day, I'll never argue or fight over business when it comes to the outdoors, because it's something that I love. I always would do it no matter what, if I was involved with business in the outdoors or not. And then here comes the TV show. And, you know, it just grew from there, man. And it just kept growing and growing. And to this day, we're still here on national television worldwide on a Sportsman channel, where they can check us out on Sportsman channel, my outdoor TV, you know, and it's just been a blessing, man, to be where I'm at to this day. And then, you know, just with all the other things as well that I have, you know, I built during that time of when I was, you know, playing football. Because remember, the thing, I was building stuff during football.
Yeah.
So, and this is something I can preach to players who are watching this, or get a chance to watch this, or anybody in general. You know, there was no off season for me.
Right.
I believe that. I tell people to say, there's no off season. It can't be an off season. There's never an off season. Mm-hmm. You know, my off season was working out and being productive. If I could start something and not be in the way of what I'm doing, you know what I'm saying? Because my main thing was football, I'm going to do it. Right. But it can't get in the way, because you know your main focus is football. So don't let nothing get in the way of football. You know what I'm saying? Way of football. I mean, if when it came to me, football, I wouldn't let that get in the way of that. Okay. But I was building these things, and now, you know, I retired. These things were running themselves. Now they're all running. All my companies running themselves. You know, and then I'm starting new ones. I got a new project right now that I've already built. It's just we just finally came out with it. We've been under the rug about it because, you know, we had some good clients. Now we just came out because, you know, with the Barstool having their thing with with the athletes and stuff. You see what they're doing, and with the NCAA opening up things for you know what I'm saying, these players and college players and stuff. You know, I got Pro Advantage, which is a big full marketing firm full service, and we provide. There's nothing that we cannot provide for athletes. We generate money for current and retired athletes, and we're building, and we do business management. So we're building. We're trying to build what's in their head, what they want to do in their afterlife when it comes to people retiring. We want to jump on now, right when they get retired, this is the transition. So we're helping players transition into the afterlife of football. So there's a lot of great things I got going on, from there.
Oh, that's awesome.
I want to go back to what you're talking about in the environment. So that's something that actually, I was at the Super Bowl a couple years ago with an initiative called #SuperCoralPlay, and that's preserving corals in the oceans. And I'm sure you know how important those are. Is there something that you like to get involved in, or some projects that you're working on there, as far as the environment?
As far as environment, we do our as far as when it comes to me, I'm a full-time farmer. Okay, I farm. I'm already put when it comes to wildlife management, I have farms throughout throughout the United States, and I do a lot of wildlife management. Then I'll put back. If I'm taking from where I'm at, I always put back. I do herd management. I do all that stuff. But I apply food plots out of my farms for game animals to feed year round. Okay, we're feeding, and I can speak for a lot of other from the east to the west to the north to the south. I can speak for a lot of hunters and guys that do this. You know what I'm saying? We are putting back in there. We're applying food. Food for for all these different game animals and just the wildlife in general. And also remember, it's coming out of our pocket too. We're buying licenses, travel. You know what I'm saying? We're traveling licenses. You're buying from ammo to, you name it. There's a lot of different things that has to be bought just to do one thing.
So now we do this fun little segment on the show. It's called the Rapid Fire segment. You ready for this?
Okay.
Favorite memorable game that you played in your NFL career?
Memorable game. Oh gosh. Truth. I would have to say when Deshaun Jackson ran the touchdown back.
Oh,
that was incredible. Yeah, that was incredible. He ran it back on that last play, and that was incredible.
Wow.
I gotta ask, what's your favorite city you've ever visited, either played in or played for?
Oh man, I would have to say Oakland. I have to say Oakland because that was one of my favorite stadiums outside of the Eagles. Outside the Eagles, Eagles is always going to be. The Eagles playing for the Eagles is always going to be number one. Eagles Stadium number one. But I'm gonna tell you this: when we went to Oakland, when I was playing for the Colts, God, man, it was a party, guys. I had one of the funnest times ever. When you look around and they're DJing the game, and you see coaches and you see everybody. It's just no fighting, nothing. It's just everybody just vibing to the music. It was awesome. I wish they could have that in every stadium.
Wow, that's awesome. Speaking of Oakland, what was your reaction when they moved to Vegas?
Why did they do that? Dude, that place was awesome. I'm sorry, that kind of made me mad. I was like, man, that was my favorite place. That was one of my favorite places to play in. It was Oakland, man. Just the vibe they had there. It was so awesome. It was just so awesome.
Looking back, what would you say is the best food you've ever had in any place? Any place you visited? Best food you've ever had? Any place you visited?
I'm about to say is what because I'm a steak connoisseur. You know what I'm saying? I love eating steak. Okay, so I'm gonna have to say this. As far as when it comes to eating steak, the best place I've had steak, I'm gonna have to say is Philadelphia. I'm gonna say Las Vegas, and I'm gonna say Texas.
Well, yeah. So when it comes to hype music, my hype music is Meek Mill, Dreams and Nightmares. That's what I posted this morning on your thing. Is that your hype?
Okay, yep.
Is that your hype music? Dreams of Nightmares.
I can vibe with them. Now I'm old school, you know, so I could vibe with them too, you know. But back then it's kind of hard. But back then, yeah, I was just twisted, mystical. I mean, I can keep going down. God, I can go down some old school people, you know, and but like I said, I could vibe with that. You know, so I do vibe with them. I like their music, you know, and you know, like I said, I'm a big old school person, but like I said, I do vibe with their music. I like their stuff.
Yeah. Who's the biggest comedian you ever played with?
Comedian? Ooh. Oh man. Well, if I could think back, who would be the biggest comedian? God. Oh man, who would that be? I'm trying to think here. It's kind of hard because they all some clowns.
Yeah.
All of them. Like everybody. Like you better be prepared to come back with something. You know what I'm saying? There's just everybody has something to them, you know. But there was always that one guy, and if I can remember, there's always that one guy. I mean, you know who was funny is you know what I'm gonna say McCoy.
Oh,
I'm saying McCoy. McCoy on a bad day. We have the worst game ever. He seems to put a smile on everybody's face when we get back in the locker room. It'd be so you know when you lose a game, everybody's butt hurt. You know what I'm saying? Everybody's lip poked out, everybody's bottom lip poked out. You're walking around with a sad face. You know what I'm saying? Everybody, it's just a nasty feeling after you lose a game. It's quiet and it's supposed to be like that. You know what I'm saying? It's supposed to be like that. You know, like hey, we got our tail whooped, we got our tail stuck up, but now we better get ourselves together. Hey, we need to wake up. You know, but it seemed like Sean McCoy, he would just say one thing, and it's just like everybody would smile. You know what I'm saying? He would put a smile on everybody's face. He was just that guy. You know.
So for you, let me ask you this: what are your thoughts on when the Eagles won that Super Bowl and obviously the first Super Bowl and when everybody was going crazy in the city? What was your reaction when they won the Super Bowl?
I was ecstatic. I was like, because I know that, like I said, I told you, the fans, these fans around here, man, they have so much pride in their team. You know what I'm saying? These people, the things I encountered and seen, you know what I'm saying, over my years of playing for the Eagles, I mean, from crying to the most craziest things I've ever seen. You know what I'm saying? These people deserve a Super Bowl. And I was so much proud of the guys. And you got to remember, there's guys there that I played with, we all played together. You know what I'm saying? So I was so proud. I was very proud just because of them guys. You know what I'm saying? Because them, hey, yeah, I played with them. And I felt the same thing they felt. Yeah, it's kind of like I could feel what they're feeling. Like, hey, we got our first Super Bowl. You know what I'm saying? We fought hard for this all them years, and you never know when it's going to come, but it came. And like I said, very ecstatic for the Jeffrey Lurie and the Eagles and Howie and all them guys, man. Like, you know what I'm saying? It was that had been a great. It was just great. Like I say, it was great.
Who is a Eagles player right now that you're most excited about? Let's start with the defense. You know, my guy is Darius Slay, who is firmly a Lion, and we've had a lot of great conversations. But who are you most excited about on the Eagles defense?
Oh man, it's hard to say right now. I'm always gonna be excited about. I'm always gonna be excited about Brandon Graham and Fletcher Cox. Always. You know what I'm saying? Some of the guys I played with, but don't have nothing right now. I don't got a guy I'm looking at right now. You know what I'm saying? Until I get to see some camp, so I get to see who's working in camp and see who's gonna be that special guy. You know what I'm saying? That's why I gotta see something. I gotta see some. At least gotta see some movement. You know, when I see that, when it comes to when they start doing camp and all that stuff, and you know what I'm saying, and I get to start paying attention. Then I'm gonna start. Then I can put a bead on. I can put a pin on it. You know who I'm pretty excited to see.
So for you, all right, here's $1 million question. Have you been on T.O.'s podcast yet? Have you been on T.O.'s podcast yet with Matthew?
I have not. No, I have not.
We need to get you on T.O.'s podcast.
Oh, T.O.'s? Oh, okay. Okay. Oh, yeah. T.O. Yeah, I didn't play. I didn't been teammates with him and had great conversations with him and played against him. I mean, lined up against him. You know what I mean?
You gotta have you on that show for sure.
Yeah.
I gotta ask about one of the questions Nathan usually asks in the rapid fire segment is Kevin Hart's laugh or Kawhi Leonard's laugh, and I know Kevin Hart's involved with the Eagles big time. So, what's your response to that one?
Oh, with Kevin Hart. Oh yeah, that Kevin he's that. I mean, I just say this is a very very funny guy. I mean, he's got it. He knows. He's talented and he's very gifted at what he does, and that's why he's where he's at. And you know what I'm saying, and very smart in business from what I could see. And he he's the example. You know what I'm saying, he's the example to our people. You know, and I have a high respect to him. You know.
Whose laugh is better though? Kawhi Leonard's laugh or Kevin Hart's laugh?
Oh man. I'm gonna say Leonard. I'm gonna say it's hard. I'm gonna say on Leonard's side because it is goofy. Leonard's a little goofy compared to Kevin Hart. Oh man, that's funny. Just thinking about it, I'm just like, oh man, you can't get over that laugh. You just can't get over that. See that? Like that's funny. You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
Yeah. So a couple more things here before we let you go. What's it like now sharing your story and what you're doing now on other platforms and other shows like this?
Repeat that one more time. Sorry about that.
What's it like sharing your story, your career, and the things that you're doing now on other shows like this and other platforms like this?
Yeah, I use these platforms and my goal is to impact others. You know what I'm saying? And it's good that we got people like you guys out here doing what you're doing. Because you guys are impacting people, you're changing people's lives, because people are they're taking notes. They gotta be, you know what I'm saying? A smart one would, and that's all I'm gonna say. A smart one would, and take note. Because you know what I'm saying, you got the example right in front of you. You got the guy he's telling straight up. So sincerely, myself, everything when I speak sincerely, everybody knows that. You know what I'm saying? I'm a sincere 100% I'm gonna tell you how it is type guy. You know what I'm saying? Some people hate me for it, some people don't like me because I tell them how they ask me, I tell them the truth. I tell them what's on the wall. We both see. Then there's no smoke and mirrors with me. But my goal is to impact people, and that's sincerely. So when you think might takes anything from me, I'm here to impact you. Impact it to the if I could, I wish everybody could be successful. And that's to the heart.
That's awesome. And so before we get to the last two things, I just want to give a couple of shout outs because our friend Kia, she's part of our team too. She's a big Eagle fan. She said she would love to be part of this interview, but she could not, unfortunately. So when we have you back as a returning guest at some point, she would like to meet you on Zoom because she's a huge Eagle fan and obviously she's part of our team here. And another shout out to my friend Lonnie from college. He's a huge Eagle fan, and he said that he's a big fan of yours. So,
yeah, tell him I appreciate it.
Yeah, and the last two things here before I let you go, our team is part of this foundation called the Hugh Jackson Foundation. He's a former NFL coach, and I'm sure you know him. And now he's offensive coordinator at Tennessee State with Eddie George. So we're trying to help him prevent human trafficking, making sure the community stays safe. The kids stay safe, and it's so horrible out there what we're seeing. And we're going to send you that foundation to you and your wife so you can go check it out.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, and the last thing here, would you like to say anything to all the nurses, doctors, and essential workers right now?
What'd you say?
Would you like to say anything?
I lost.
Oh, would you like to say?
Like I said, man, just keep, saying, wake up every day knowing that you've been put here on this earth to impact and to help others. Saying that this is your calling, and that's how you got to look at it. Saying, and everything else will fall into place. Everything else will come to you. And everybody, even though you might not hear it from other people, everybody is appreciative because it's life. We're dealing with life here. You know what I'm saying? So everybody's appreciative of life. So don't think that nobody that is not appreciative. Everybody is, even though you might get a guy just no good, but still at the end of the day, he's very appreciative for life. And trust me, he's very appreciative of you guys, and we all are. You know, and thank you for your services. Thank you for everything you've done, and we hope the best. And you know what I'm saying, and moving forward on what's going on throughout America. You know, there's a lot of things going on, but like I said, hey, keep doing what you're doing.
Yeah, well said. And there it is. That wraps up episode 847 for the NR Sports Show with former NFL defensive end Trent Cole from the Eagles Colts, played for Cincinnati in college. And now after his career, he's a professional hunter and he's a farmer. All I have to say, if there's an animal out there, just be careful, man. He's coming after you. He's coming after you. So just be careful out there. But thank you again for joining the show, Trent. We would like to have you back, obviously, on the show so you can meet the full team. But just keep up the great work. This is truly an honor, and you and your family stay safe.
You as well. Thank you for having me, man.
Thank you.